This is where, like, if you were like, let's say we like, imagine we were really offended by that, right? That's where we just like pause and be like, sec,
Offended. Wow, we'd be
revenge of the
very
referee.
vindictive. Like, c'est good.
Okay, well, folks, it's game number 2 here for the Ting Open. Spawning here in the bottom left side of Dust Towers. He's gonna be our friend My Insanity's PengWin.
And top right as the red Zerg, he's going to be X5's Pig. XL5.
So while this tournament has some pretty big names in it, or this qualifier, excuse me, I'm more inclined to hope somebody like PengWin, like I'm not saying it looks like he's gonna do it here and now, but I'm inclined to hope somebody like PengWin actually gets through these brackets, kind of Lily Canine style, and just surprise everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was definitely one of my favorite parts about the European qualifier. See Lily Canine take a winner's bracket spot. Not loser's bracket, but a winner's bracket spot. Blew a lot of people away.
That is definitely true. And also seeing PengWin perform so well at Hell It's About Time was also really hype.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And if he had an entire bracket full of Protoss, I could see him definitely doing it. Protoss have a tough time against Muta players. But ZvZ, I feel like it's a lot more difficult to just get to Mutas, because you want to.
Just because.
There's an entire early game that is very, very important in setting up the position. Now, Dusk Towers, they might go up to 3 bases each, and they might not, attack each other at all. We've seen some very passive games on this map, but that's usually not ZvZ.
It's funny that you bring up the versus Protoss thing. I've always referenced this when I talk to him about it, but like PengWin versus Night End was the first time I remember him finally taking like a big victory. That was like, God, Acer Team Sport Cup Season 2, something forever ago. But the point is, like, since then, he's always been pretty good with versus Protoss. That's where you get those mutas, the base trades, you name it. Same tactics can sort of be applied to versus Zerg. And I don't think there's a single Zerg player who likes playing against mutas. No one's just like, yeah, you know what, this is my jam. I can't wait to get infestors and fungal growths out. But it's something where maybe that's what gets him a game. I don't know. We'll see. The nice thing about Dusk Towers is you can kind of turtle up on these 2 bases a little bit more safely due to the choke, but whether he does that or not, we'll have to wait and see. Banley Nest, though, feels defensive.
Yeah, they both get around at the same time, and they're still getting mostly drones. Pig did get a forward natural as just as stylistic for individual Zergs. I think like Sulky likes this as well, and Nurtio I think really likes it too. But PengWin actually gets a scout inside of his base. There's 2 things about this, taking this natural. Oh, and he loses an overload. Ugh. Is that one, you can try and at least make it look like you're taking a 3rd base and actually be going for an all-in. Or it's also going to be good for having just that little bit closer attack point if you were going to Ling attack or even Roach all-in. But PengWin goes for the 2-base lair and a couple of sneaky banelings. Sneak.
Yeah, if these actually get in there and hit, like, this just goes from being something kind of cheeky and cute to being something really good that'll get him ahead. Now, Pig, I think he knew something was up. Didn't know what. It's the Baneling. It's the me.
It's a Baneling.
I was going from Mario. I sounded like Borat. It's the Baneling. I lie. Very nice.
So Pig was oddly conservative with his lings, but he is attacking with them, so I guess that's why. He has an entire task force. Okay,
he was waiting for the larva to spawn. That was cute. Actually, I like that move.
But can PengWin defend against this? He did see it with his Overlord and has a couple of Banelings trying to be morphed in, but okay, yep. They were actually walling, so
3 for 2.
This comes on in.
My 12 lings on the way. I don't know. With the queen, she's kind of like having a lot of extra Zerglings, funny enough. Just the queen damage itself is so great, and she reaches so far. So for a brief moment, that looked quite dangerous for PengWin, but this actually looks fairly manageable.
If Pig had continued to dedicate, he would have been able to do something. As PengWin tried to get a lair, he's trying to get a spire. That would have been a lot of gas not going into, Banelings. But yeah. Pig did not. So he has to actually kind of... I don't know if he's going to just give up and play the macro game. His Roach Warren is around the same time the Spire was started, so I think he's forced to. Attacking with Roaches when the Spire is already done is just going to get you nothing, actually. As they go across such a big map like Dust Towers, they're just going to get poked to death.
Yeah, I'm more interested in his layer timing here, because it's funny, like, if you want to plop down 3 gases still, like, right this second, he could actually keep up in mutas, potentially, but It looks like he's going to be heading towards the route of Hydras, Infestors, and you name it.
Yeah. I mean, speaking on that layer, he could Nidus Swarm. That does, circumvent the whole getting across the map problem.
Well, we're seeing that happen, though, exclusively when there's a ton of queens, and he's not really producing...
Yeah.
Oh, there we go, actually. Starting to produce some now. You gonna get a third one, buddy? No.
I feel like it is about, though, having those queens and a handful of roaches already ready to go in that Nidus Swarm to get it, like, really, very quickly out there. So... the mutas are going to come out, and maybe we'll see a later Nidus Worm. Like, we've certainly seen Nidus Worms, the 3 minutes into the mutas attacking them. Mostly as a desperate, I'm done with dealing with mutas. But sometimes it's an actual choice that can win a game. I think Pig's is going to have to go for the Infestation Pit. Spore Crawlers, of course, as well. There we go. And PengWin's kind of his element now. He was allowed to get to mutas. We'll see if he can win this game.
Like, PengWin's not a Zerg player. He's a Mutalisk player.
He really is.
Now, I guess for the start, Hydras actually are kind of not good initially. I guess is the only way I can think to describe that. In low amounts, the mutas can pick them off pretty easily. Regeneration, trump card most units as he harasses. So the start of this won't be so sweet for Pig. But his Spore Crawler coverage is alright. It's not too bad.
Hydras are pretty dangerous to go for first, not only because they can be picked off by Mutalisk with their Glaive Worm being pretty good, but also because you are never sure a lot of the time if they're sticking on Mutalisk and going for Banelings on the ground too, or they are transferring over to Roaches. And both situations can be dangerous for Hydras, which are a lot more expensive and, obviously a lot more glass cannony, so they'll die to the Banelings and they'll die to potential Roach Flood if you haven't gotten their protected barrier too. He's also getting Infestors, and he's actually just entirely holding off on an army for now.
It's funny you bring up Glaive Worms too, by the way, because just thinking on the way the actual Glaive Worm works, that's how the Adept attack should work. Like, just kind of that ricochet around.
They're like a Huntress in Warcraft?
Kind of, right? Like, that's what I imagine with, like, their little disc attack, more than, like, some literal worm that you shoot out of the Mutalisk's tail.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, like, the worms are, like, somewhat intelligent, aren't they? That's why they're allowed to bounce.
I don't know, man.
I think so. I think I remember reading this in another cast where we had dumb ideas.
I just know that it looks really lewd no matter how you paint the picture.
Yeah, like the artist that thought of what Mutalisk would look like was really just very odd.
Like, the bat part is fine. It's the attack I find odd. Like
flipping your tail, which is below your mouth.
That, and it's like,
or your
it's
mouth
kind of got like a
head.
sphincter muscle going on with like the end of the tail too. So
it's quite gross.
Anyways, defensive at home for Pig is fine. PengWin actually did kind of miss a bit of an opportunity here because he didn't actually get on top of a lot of this before the Spore Crawlers were all done, when the Hydras were coming out 1 or 2 at a time. So a little unfortunate. That doesn't put him out of the game, however, because he's going towards Lurkers behind this, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, that's going to be really good for the defensive, and he will need something on the defense as Pig. The same way that PengWin is allowed to get to Mutas, Pig has no trouble getting to Roach, Hydra, Infestor.
Yeah, but you know what? Pig's put himself a little behind. He made a couple of Spore Crawlers earlier, and I thought that was fine. He went really ham with this, though. He went 10 Spore Crawlers deep.
Yeah.
That's 1,000 minerals plus the drones.
I think this is something you have to do, though. Like, we talked about Intense versus Neeb and his 1,000 minerals and missile turrets against a War Prism. And that seemed a little excessive. But against Mutas, if you haven't done damage with a Muta player, I actually think that's like completely worth it. Like Mutas can spiral so quickly. And like I said, you don't know right off the bat if they're going to continue investing into Mutas or they're going to transfer out into anything else.
I mean, I'm inclined to believe that, like, yeah, the 10 Spore Crawlers are worth it, but it is just, I don't know, ZvZ, losing drones like that is so much more different than just investing money into missile turrets.
Yeah, but he also knew that he was ahead in his higher base for a time, and thus a lot of drones, as PengWin's third was quite late. I mean, I think versus maybe, like, Sulky, okay, because we already bring that guy up. If Sulky had done Mutas, maybe this would be different, and Pig's 1,000 minerals and a Spore Crawlers would actually hurt him somehow. But Pig took this very seriously, very defensively. Like, back when he had about half that army, he was actually pre-spread, I think, just in case Banelings rolled in without him scouting. Yeah, you do not have a lot of scouting, until you actually get an army or your Infestors. So
or a Hulk.
Now that he has an entire army set up to go, he could push into Lurkers. Carefully, but he could.
Right, so we're seeing this really weird dynamic where the roaches kind of end up working like immortals do, and you're hoping to get in there and snipe them off before they kill all of your units. PengWin doesn't have that many lurkers. He's got some, and that's great, but he's really banking on a couple of lurkers doing more than I think they're capable of. Now, he's going to take some good hits initially, and Banlings are ready to roll in from the side. That's cool. Counterattack goes off. Lings get inside the third base of Pig. Oh, Banlings are waiting.
Both Banelings.
Okay, well, he actually ends up keeping some of these things alive. This actually draws Pig back home, strangely enough.
Yeah, I guess he just wants his entire attention focused on his army.
Clever boy.
Yeah, some harassment. It's still very worrying because, you know, on the defense, he only took that fight because there's no Overseer. With only 4 lurkers, yeah, Pig could actually roll over that.
Well, actually, there were Overseers on the front line.
They were?
Yeah.
They were trailing behind. Well, he would have seen that there was only 4 lurkers. Now there's 6 or 7.
I like this the PengWin. He was able to actually buy himself enough time. He's got the mobility of the Mutalist to still sort of roam around the map. As this Spore Crawler goes down, that's a doorway now open for the Mutas to come in and harass. I don't know if Pig's going to actively be replacing them late in the game, but he's going for an Ultralist Cavern and his own Lurkers behind this. And Lurkers have such a weird interaction with this, guys. Like, if you have not seen it, we saw an instance of this morning. It was Hydra versus Sulky. It was so sick. Ultras, for a small time period, if there's not a lot of Lurkers down, they can actually fight the Lurkers. Funny enough, though, if you've got like 11 Lurkers, they chunk through Ultralisks. Like, Lurkers plus Sim City through Spore Crawlers and Spines, that's probably your best bet to stop Ultralisks. But Pig's getting his own Lurkers, 10 coming out.
Dang.
Oh, he's ready to do some drops, too? That's kind of cool. I didn't realize he had like 5 Overlords. Is he going to Lurker drop, maybe? Is he going to just do
Also,
drop?
very dangerous, though. He knows the Mutas are still alive.
Yeah, this is crazy dangerous. I don't know why he would think about this.
Yeah. I'm also not really... I guess, well, we'll never know, but I did wonder, like, when there was only 5 or 4 Lurkers or whatever, I really feel like he could have pushed in. Now that there's 7, he could probably still push in from the left and only take 1 or 2 Lurkers at a time, as they are, like, in a line here, but he's going for his own Lurkers. That is... I don't know, that feels a lot more defensive, and, like, this game is going on until they both are on 5 bases and on the same tech. I mean, PengWin's trying to get his own hive right now.
I gotta be honest, if you told me PengWin could go toe-to-toe with Pig, I would not believe you. But this is looking pretty good so far. However, this still may turn around. He's going to catch this one drop on this side. That's kind of nice. Unfortunately, that kind of also reveals his hidden hatchery he had gone for. Overlord's in the top left. Lurker's going to be getting on top of this base. PengWin can actually pick them off here pretty quickly. Nicely done.
The Mutas also will just trump the Overseers here if they ever like leave the safety of the Infestors and the Hydras. So that is there's a reason why Muta Lurker can sound like a really good complementary force. They're kind of seeing it here.
It's really tempting to go for those Hydras, but of course in doing so he misses the Overlords coming into his natural base. This is where the hive is, this is where his tech is. He's actually got to protect this, so Ling's flooding back to stop. Now, it's funny to see the Broodlords come out. This is where I actually like PengWin's position a little bit better. I think Greater Spire is much better than Ultralist Cavern when it comes to what your 2-3 tech offers. But at the end of the day, it is a quick reminder that because it was like this for like almost a year, the Vipers for Pig are going to be very important to whatever comes next. You can yank Lurkers out of the ground, but you can also abduct Broodlords. And for a time, they gave Broodlord a frenzy ability to make it immune to abducts because of what Swarmhost created. Not the case anymore. Just in case anyone's like coming back from the past, maybe you stopped watching because you're like, fuck Swarmhouse, I'm done with StarCraft, right? You can abduct Broodlords again. So these Vipers are going to be very important to Pig for many different reasons. Blinding Clouds on top of the Lurkers, yanking them out of the ground, and Parasitic Bombs on top of the Mutalisks. Like, I really like that he invested in this instead of going straight to Ultras. But I think at the end of the day, the Ultimate versus Ultimate would be Ultra versus Ultra.
I cannot believe this game is going to go on for this long. This,
I know, especially with the way Game 1 looked, right? Like, that looked like an outclassing, but it's not.
Yeah. It's not, it's also just that, like, that first game told all the tale that would ever be, but this game did not actually look that strong for PengWin. His Mutas came out, and that is his element, but they really were not actually that, like, used, you know? Like, they didn't bother Pig until he just, you know, got frustrated and did something stupid. They mostly just killed a couple of Overlords and let PengWin get to Lurkers, which might have been his entire plan, but usually Mutas just be very obnoxious.
He really wanted to get that Ultra's Cavern snipe. A lot of banelings. This is so scary, actually. Because he could either run these into lurkers and then lose everything, which could really suck. He's got to do it right now. He's going to make some moves to supply. Fungal growths hit those banelings. They don't connect to anything. Oh, the gas waste there was so painful to watch. But a big part of that attack was he needed to clear up supply for the Ultras. So it looked wasteful. Was hoping to get more damage with it done, obviously. I think Overlord drops may have been the way to go. Drop them on top of the mineral lines.
PengWin's upgrades are so much better.
Yeah, melee not usually that big of an influence, but in this situation it just may be. He's got to be careful though. Losing this base kind of sucks for Pig, but at the same time PengWin is not worth worth sacrificing all your Mutilas for. So parasitic bombs looking to go off. Nah.
That was a nice,
top left.
That was a nice attempt at splitting, but the Hydras were underneath those Vipers, so he's got to go defend his other base.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to start leaving banelings around, I suppose, as Pig has recognized the
he doesn't
importance
need
of lings.
You got Ultras. Ultras and Lurkers, all the splash damage you need. Quick shout out, by the way, to this $5 donation coming in from Vestrix. He says, since you in chat were the first to wish me a happy birthday today, 23 hours ago, I'm sharing a bit of my money with you. Thanks. Aw. I hope you had a good birthday, man.
Aw. Yeah.
Samargup knows all about birthdays.
Hey!
It's 90% of the cast today.
I'm gonna have some birthday cake vodka. You don't know. I might have that.
What is that? You just take vodka and stuff a birthday cake in it? Like,
nah, like Smirnoff has a bunch of like flavored vodkas.
Yo, I've noticed their flavored vodkas all just taste like fucking vodka though. It just smells different. Like vanilla vodka smells so sweet. Tastes like any other vodka.
Yeah, I 100% agree. So just a joke. So this game is still going on, and no one has really taken that much of an advantage. Like PengWin, with the secret kind of base that's being attacked now, was taking a good, like, income lead for most of this game, but it's found out.
I was gonna say also, let's not forget he didn't kill that base from Pig like he had wanted. He did some damage to the core. Parasitic bombs coming down. He's gonna lose the mutas.
Oh god.
Oh god. No splitting at this point. He just gave up. He's like, fuck it. I got the Ultras Cavern worth. That's so much gas gone now.
He did have a big bank, so he actually gave up on the mutas, which not a bad idea right now, I suppose. Like
7 Ultras.
They could have been useful, but he does go for just the max out Ultra way to go.
Look at Pig's setup in the middle of the map. PengWin will not actually be able to run in here, even with 20 Ultras. The Lurker splash damage, the fact that it's not even that splash damage, I should phrase this better, it pierces through the units. So the Ultras are going to get hit, like the back line and the front line equally, and they take a lot of damage from Armored. You know, versus Terran 8 armor looks OP, but versus Lurkers, hitting for 36 a shot, not that big a deal.
My question, you get a good Spire, you're the Muta player, so that makes sense. You don't go for any Broodlords. Why?
I think combination of the fact that he saw the amount of Vipers early on may have just been like, okay, that would have been way too costly. But I agree, like having even just one to slowly poke wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, I feel like...
But he doesn't have detection. He doesn't have detection! Don't do it, PengWin!
Why would you go into this? Why would you do this?
He doesn't have
so
detection!
Many Lurkers.
What the fuck? He doesn't... He's gonna try and blitz through them. There we go. Now detection comes out. Now he can take on those Lurkers.
Oh,
I still think that...
Oh, he's 2 more. He's 2 more. 1 more!
I'm still just so mad that he went in before he had detection, though. That was a huge blunder.
Look at the supplies.
I mean, yeah, PengWin actually remaxes really well here on 11 Ultras and 42 Lings. And that's going to be most of his larva as well.
He's never moved those Lurkers. Those Lurkers have been there for the last, like, 9 minutes.
Advancing them on the front line simultaneously might not be bad. Yeah, but I don't think it'd be, like, auto-win.
But it is supply that isn't doing too much, except protecting him from a fast remix from Pig, I guess.
You know what else didn't do too much? The Lurkers that couldn't see the Ultras that couldn't see the Lurkers. God damn it, PengWin!
He almost lost all of his overseers. I think that was the best part. Like, one more Spur Crawler and he would have.
Okay, so this is kind of neat. Pig, excuse me, recognizing like, oh yeah, those mutas are gone. I forgot I got those parasitic bombs off. I can start dropping again. But PengWin had to have seen this. That Overlord patrolling, did it really not see this? He sees a blob in the bottom right, and he's not intercepting. He's going for an attack instead. And once again, this comes in dangerously early. The Overseers get picked up by the Spore Crawlers immediately. New Overseers are coming in. But this time he actually brings his Lurkers with him, so it goes a little bit better. It goes a little bit better. Yeah. PengWin in some trouble now, actually. As there are a lot of lanes dropping off here. He might base trade with PengWin a bit, but PengWin's already got units on the field.
Well, they are mostly Hydras. His Ultras Cavern was picked off to those mutas in the first place. I don't think he ever recognized that.
He's 100% going to lose everything at home behind this.
Can he win the game with what he has?
I don't
Especially if he's
know.
flooding?
That's the question. He's gonna kill some of these lurkers before they have a chance to play. Penguin's going for overseers in what is almost a last-ditch effort.
If if Pig had an Ultraless Cavern and had remax with Ultras instead of Hydras, I would be like, Penguin can't do it. But he did remax with mostly Hydras and 1 or 2 Lurkers,
GG.
so... Yeah, he does it.
Penguin, my man. A messy as fuck game, but he still wins it nonetheless. I am going to give him so much shit for that right now, though. I swear to God. Hang on, guys.